month here is going to be some changes in your financial structure. It's very finance oriented, and I feel like many of you are going to have to find new ways of making money. Think about, how your skills are transferable into a different industry, into a different career path, into a different job, into a different role. Think about how your skills are, transferable so that you can forge a new path for yourself in terms of your career. And I feel some of you might have been, avoiding this process for some time. You might have taken, the path that you've always taken. And so doing like a 180 or changing direction or changing career or changing your path, it might have felt very daunting and very scary. And so you might have just walked along it, wanting a different path for yourself, but not knowing exactly how to switch gears. So I can assure you that, change is never easy for a fixed sign. And fixed signs such as yourself, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Taurus is not an easy process. But I feel that it is very crucial. It's very necessary so that we can, grab new opportunities when they come in. So I feel like once you make a deliberate action to take those steps that you are meant to take, the process is not going to be scary. Everything is going to be laid out in front of you, and it's going to be very visible for you to see. And I'm also feeling as well, you're going to be prepared to change gears, get your hands dirty, and pick up new skills. And I feel that you're going to do it in a way where you do have the support of the people around you. I feel a lot of people returning to school, learning something new, and aiming for going to school part-time to pick up new skills while you're doing like a current existing job, or shifting into part-time work. Okay, I'm also sensing as well new children, new family members being added into the picture. That could also be why the financial structure surgery is what I'm feeling. And keep in mind, this is not coming as a surprise. I feel like you've been prepping for it for the past few months. And then as well, caring for family members that might have recuperated recently from a surgery, or are still recuperating from a recent surgery or recent health situation. I do feel, this is interesting here, the abdominal area and especially the reproductive organs are the areas that might be affected. And I'm also feeling as well, your knees might be a little bit weak for this month. So that's usually indicating water retention. So water retention in the knees, water retention in areas that might create flare-ups for you guys. The second half of this month, I feel it's all about you guys getting back on your feet, okay? Recuperating, getting back on your feet, and financially making those changes in the financial front so that you can pick yourself up by your own bootstraps and, start making the wealth and generating the wealth that you've been hoping for. So it's kind of like a 180 turn that I feel happening for you towards the end of this month. And you do have as well a new moon in Sagittarius, which is, have this card, you have an extra card, new moon in Sagittarius, which basically it's in a fellow fire sign. So I feel like it's going to boost the drive and the ambition and give you that extra push in order to make some changes in your career sector. Let me just go into this reading here. And first of all, there is a big financial push for you to really think about long-term prospects, okay? Not just immediate gains, but long-term prospects. These are things that you have to be actively working at, building up new skills, building a solid financial foundation for yourself so that you don't get caught unawares, or if you've been with a company for a long time and they start to downsize. I feel like you have right now seniority, or you have to think about how to get yourself to the upper tier, or to up your seniority, or to up your skills so that you can immediately transfer to another company, or that you become a very vital asset to that company so that you're not the one to be let go. So I feel like building long-term financial wealth is something that you're really going to be thinking about this month. In the past, if you've been kind of like this, dabbling in different projects, dabbling in different things, working part-time, just just to get by, but you're not really thinking about like retirement, long-term prospects, how you make your money grow for you, how you can look into investment opportunities to expand your resources. I feel that this is the month where it becomes like a stark reality, and you're just like, time is passing me by. I need to make wiser decisions when it comes to investments. I need to be a little bit more solid and careful and even thrifty when it comes to my expenditures. So I feel like in the past, if you've had trouble retaining money, I feel like this is the month where you're going to need to do some type of a major shift, a major overhaul, so that you can have money long term, okay? So that's the first message I feel coming into the picture. The other message I feel like is reiterated in this card. This is kind of like overcoming stress, overcoming like sleepless nights. I do feel a very, very heavy health energy in this spread. This is like being in a very uncomfortable situation, having to contort your body or having to sleep a certain way because of something that's like physically bothering you. So I do see as well with the Empress. The Empress is all about, giving birth. It's all about reproduction. It's as well about motherhood. And it's also rules, like pregnancies and things like that. If you are in the stages of, pregnancy, I do feel like you have been losing sleep over this. I feel like you might also, feel like a lot of pressure as well, and it's keeping you up at night, and you might feel pressure on other areas of your body, like especially the feet, like swollen glands, swollen lymph nodes, and I also feel like water retention as well, okay? So I feel like it has been an arduous process. It's difficult to get enough sleep, and it's difficult to as well be comfortable when you sleep. So I do see many of you waking up multiple times during the night, and I feel as well, the no time, all right? So this is not something I want you to worry about. I'm talking about it first out in this spread, mainly because I don't want you to worry about this, and I don't want this to come as a surprise, because I feel like some of you have already been dealing with this. The Nine of Swords in the reverse position, this is an alleviation of something, okay? So it is going to get less and less problematic, and I feel towards the end of this month, this is when it is going to clear up for you, and you're going to be able to move on from this phase. Let me talk about the other energies that are inherent in this spread as well. So let me talk about this because it's repeated. What I have here is two water signs. So this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And usually when it's like the same, when it's a court card of the same suit, it usually means that you've been dealing with this person for quite some time. You've known this person for quite some time. When they first came in, they might have been like this, okay? Empty-handed. They have issues when it comes to expressing their love. They have issues about self-love. And I feel like this is somebody that goes through life not knowing how to make sacrifices for another person, not knowing how to unconditionally love themselves, and in effect, not able to love other people. And the fact that they show up now like this as the king energy, they've upgraded, but some of these traits are still prevalent in the way that they interact with you. I'm feeling that this is, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This is somebody that you might have children with. This is somebody that you've known for a long time. And this is somebody that is, I'm sensing it's like talk and very, very little action to back up the things that they say. And this is the month where there might be a little bit of conflict coming into the picture with this person. I'm feeling here, if you have children with this person, there's an element here about you not being able to, handle your responsibilities, and you have to rely on them for some aspect of possibly the parenting, co-parenting. And I feel like in the past, they've been a little bit kind of like on the sidelines, not really taking initiative. And then for this month, there's going to be squabbles because they are also not stepping up to the plate, not delivering on what they promise. And it's almost like this energy about, loving with strings attached. There are a lot of conditions imposed by this person. There are a lot of things that, it's almost like you have to spell out everything for them. They can't just sit and sense what you need. You have to spell out everything. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody where you need to be a lot more verbal about what you want. And I also feel as well, if you need something from this person, you have to speak in a more literal sense so that they understand, rather than, asking them. They might have as well issues that they're dealing with in their own lives, feeling like opportunities are not going their way, feeling a little bit like under the weather. And so you're going to have to spell things out in order to get them to do things. And I feel that it can be a little bit frustrating, but this is not somebody where, for this month, they're not going to be able to intuitively sense what you need. And so you need to spell things out for them. And I feel like there's a big energy here about, this is somebody that you might share children with. You might be in a relationship with them, or you might not be in a relationship with them as of this moment. But there's heavy communication, and there is also an element here of conflict as well. So you want to be careful, okay? Make sure we communicate thoroughly and we communicate directly. I'm also feeling as if there is some energies of passion not being reciprocated. So in the reverse position, the Ace of Wands is about new opportunities. It's about, spark of passion. It's about, chemistry. And I do feel in the reverse position, it's almost like having to turn somebody down because we're not interested. And then having to turn somebody down mainly because they're not our type, or we anticipate that they're not for our greater good, they're not sincere, they're not going to be there for the long haul, or, they're feeling like somebody is not committed. So I feel like there is an energy here about you having to turn somebody down and kind of like shaking away their advances, or trying to, slip out from under them so that they don't, so that they can't have their way with you. That's what it feels like to me. I want you to be very careful with this energy for ladies who are dealing with this, because with the Empress in the reverse, it might be a situation where you feel uncomfortable. Trust your intuition, okay? If you have if you feel really strange or really uncomfortable around a specific person and you feel like you can't really trust them, trust that intuition and try not to be alone with them, okay? Because I don't want you to be in a position where you have to physically, stop somebody from approaching you. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that, but I want you ladies especially be very, very careful about people making moves on you, or people who are behaving in a very inappropriate way towards you, and they're not respecting boundaries, and they're not respectful when you say no, or they're not respectful when you kind of spurn their advances, okay? I feel like you need to be very vocal and protect your boundaries for this month, okay? Moving forward, what I have here as well is, usually with this King of Pentacles, the way that I see this is a person, but it seems to me more finance related. And I feel like there's an opportunity that is in the works for you when it comes to meeting somebody that can offer a job, that can give you a position where you can, start making money, start getting yourself back on your feet. So I feel like there are ample opportunities available, and these are righteous people that are realizing your skills and your assets. And I feel like it's like they're offering you the job mainly because they believe in your capabilities. You might be feeling like this. lacking in self-esteem, or at a point where you're just like, am I really good enough to tackle on that new role? Am I really skilled enough to be able to fulfill that job position or be successful in it? And I feel like you have to overcome these self-doubts as well, because the opportunity is going to be in the picture, and I feel like it will be there once. So if you miss out on it, or if you say no to it, it's going to disappear. But I do feel like the person that is in charge offering these jobs, or that have these jobs available, they're recruiting you because of your skills, because they also understand as well. They might be recruiting you because they feel like you need the job. But I feel that it's a job that provides training, it's a job that comes with opportunities, and it's also a job that can give you a lot more financial resources, okay? Once again, that message about skills being transferable, you might be at a point where, let's just say, if you were in the hospitality industry for a really, really long time and that's all you know, and you feel like, okay, I can't do this, managerial office job or clerical job because I don't have the typing skills, I don't have the computer skills, I don't have the training. Think about how your skills are transferable. Think about the fact that, you've had to deal with clients, you've had to deal with customers, and customer service skills are always transferable into a different industry, into a different environment. So think like that. Think in terms of like, skills are always fluid. They're not fixed to a specific environment, to a specific space, so that you can overcome these, the self-doubt, so that you can get yourself into a different job, okay? I feel like it's going to be coming into the picture for you, but you have to make the change. You have to be the catalyst to, allow things to happen and to take the steps in order to get there. You need to get better first. If you're dealing with some things right now, and especially if, surgeries or recuperation or health related issues, I feel like it's going to come, it needs to disappear from this spread and from the energies for this month before you can mentally get yourself in a space where you think about finances, you think about career change, you think about other things. So the last thing that I want to focus on here is, let's talk about this hangman, and it's in the reverse position. The hangman in the reverse, I feel like, once again, this is a card about a sacrifice, okay? And this is a situation where it has been very, very uncomfortable. And once again, I'm getting that message about health, okay? So whatever you're dealing with, there is a situation here where you have a person that is constantly around you, that is constantly, I feel, somebody that is pestering you to date them, somebody that is pestering you to be with them. And you feel this insincerity, you feel it, and you're not, you do not want to get involved with them. And it has been a very uncomfortable process. With this, in the reverse, this is the month where you're going to make your feelings very known. You're going to be very vocal, and you need to be very vocal about how you feel, because if they're constantly hovering around you and, soliciting you and wanting to communicate with you, and you're blocking them out, they're constantly going to push your boundaries. So I feel like either doing this where you're just, gone from the picture and not responding, or removing yourself from the source of discomfort. I feel like that's going to be very crucial. So aim to do that, and aim to protect your energy and protect the environment that you're in, so that you're not constantly, hounded by people who are interested in dating you or who are constantly soliciting you for things. Okay? One last thing, this is a housing situation change, a housing move. And I feel like there might be some disagreements between you and family members, and especially like mother and father is what I'm sensing. Wherever you're living, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a geographical distance. This is usually into the 23rd, and with it in the reverse position, if you're making any type of a long-term move, or if you're finally lined up, and especially everybody's on the same page, because I do see some disagreements here about housing arrangement as well as the physical structure of the house, whether or not somebody owns the property, whether or not somebody's able to take care of the property. So situations regarding financial structure and the physical structure of the home environment, I feel like that's going to be the major theme. You actually have a lot of things going on in this spread, Leo, and I just really need you to take care of yourself. Everything else can wait. Take care of your health if you're dealing with that, and take care of, grabbing new opportunities. If you're not dealing with health things, grab new opportunities, and, don't fret, because there is going to be somebody that's watching over you in the work environment, and they can give you training wherever it is that you're lacking. Apply for it, go for it, and think about it later, because I feel like somebody's going to be able to kind of groom you and make sure that you're okay, and make sure that you're able to do the work, okay? So keep at it, all right? I apologize if the messages or if the whole spread seems a little bit negative. I felt a lot of health related things, okay? Either you're taking care of somebody who is dealing with a lot of like back pain or a lot of physical bone skeletal system things, or things that might aggravate the skeletal system, things that are bone related, or you're dealing with some physical discomfort of your own. You might be recuperating, and I feel like it's a little bit uncomfortable, okay? The spread makes me feel uncomfortable, like physically. So if you're dealing with that, get better first. Get yourself to the point where you feel good and prosperous and just physically better before you tackle the other things, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but don't sit there and ruminate over things that you don't have control over, because you need to get yourself rested, and you need to regain your strength, and you need to get yourself back on your feet, and you will get yourself back on your feet. So best of luck